Hi, I'm Mike from Boxing Strength TV. Today I'm just going to do something new for this channel. I always like switching it up. I'm just going to do some breakdowns of two big cards going on this week. One is Premier Boxing Champions. That's Ortiz versus Alexander on Fox, and that starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. Huge card. A lot of implications on that card of, for world title fights and just big names to fight big names. And then you got the Mayweather Promotions Showtime card with Garcia versus Rios, and that starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. And there is one more big fight on the day, Groves versus Eubank Jr. I don't know enough about. I don't follow UK boxing. It's hard enough to just follow one promotion. A few promotions. I mean, if I had to make a bet, I'd put my money on Eubank Jr. So that's my prediction there. But anyways, let's go over these two big cards. Premier Boxing Champions and Mayweather Promotions. They always put on pretty good cards. So I'm definitely a fan of them. And let's break it down. So we got for the early card in El Paso, Texas, the Alexander Ortiz card. Some notable early fights, some prelim fights on that card. You got Austin Trout, 30-4. You got Tony Harrison, 25-2. That could be a future fight at super welterweight. Those guys, both were beating, Jarrett Hurd, in my opinion. But Hurd does what Hurd does. He knocks people out late. Starts off slow, and got both those guys out of there. But these are both two tough guys, tough competitors, and I think Tony Harrison's still got a lot in the tank. Austin Trout might be his career. He might have a few years left, but definitely has some good fights left in him. I'm definitely looking forward to watching the stream on that. I think it's on Premier Boxing Champions. I think they got the prelim stream on there. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure. So definitely premierboxingchampions.com. Check that out. And yeah, so those are the prelims that are pretty interesting that kind of pop out. And now let's go to the main card. We got Jennifer Hahn versus Lisbeth Crespo for the IBF World Female Featherweight title. Honestly, don't know much about either of them. Women's boxing is just becoming really mainstream now, so I'm actually learning a lot more about these girls, and definitely looking forward to watching this fight. And hopefully they get it's a good fight. They get a lot of eyes on them, and it helps out female boxing and their career. So I'll definitely be watching that fight, and that's all I got there. Let's go to the co-main event with Caleb Plant and Porky Medina. Porky Medina 38-8, Caleb Plant 16-0. This is a title eliminator, and Plant. I've watched him on FS1. Watch his training on YouTube. He trains with all those. There's just a whole bunch of killers in Vegas at that weight, man. Like at the Mayweather gym and whatnot, and all throughout Vegas. There's just a lot of good light heavyweights and super middleweights. I think that's where a lot of good guys go. Yeah, you got Caleb Plant, definitely awesome boxer. You know what I mean? Just gets the job done every time. I haven't really seen him lose many rounds. He just outboxes the shit out of the guy he's facing. I just think Caleb Plant, the best thing for him this fight, what would be the best case scenario is if he gets a signature knockout, something that can go in a highlight reel, because I think he's got it in him. I just don't think he sits down on his punches enough, or he just outboxes the shit out of you and makes you look stupid. But I think this is a matchup for him where he could really, get a signature highlight reel knockout and then really cement him for super middleweight. Because this is a title eliminator, so he should be fighting for a world title after this either way. So that's just my opinion there. Caleb Plant's gonna win, and I think he's gonna win big. This is a perfect matchup for him to do it. He's really just technically sound, great fighter to watch. You can learn a lot from him if you're like a young amateur fighter, even a pro fighter. You can learn a lot from his game. He does a lot of things right, And yeah, so there you go there. I got Caleb Plant winning. Let's go to the main event, big main event. Victor Ortiz, Devin Alexander, two southpaws. They've been around forever. Victor Ortiz, I like him. You know, he's had some bad breaks in boxing. People call him a quitter. I wouldn't necessarily say that. He's just had, when you fight fucking everybody and you're 32 6 and 2, shit's gonna happen. So, you know, Victor Ortiz, great fight. For Devin Alexander, you know, coming off of, you know, he had some addiction problems with the opioids, the pills and whatnot, I guess. You know, he's got a great coach, Kevin Kenningham. You know, they've been doing this a long time. And I just think, you know, him beating that addiction and his last fight, he looked really good. I got Devin Alexander winning this fight by knockout, you know, in the early to mid rounds. You know, I think Victor Ortiz, his head might not be in the game. I don't know. Um, he's still a great fighter to watch, and you know he's gonna make it action packed forever, how long it lasts. But I got Devin Alexander winning this fight by knockout, and then you know fighting, the Rios Garcia winner, or Earl Spence, Sean Porter. There's so many good fights out there at the welterweight division for um, premier boxing champions. Like 100%, it's stacked. Like so many good matchups. So yeah, I got Devin Alexander winning that. So yeah, let's see if I'm right, I guess. So anyways, let's go to the next card, guys. It's the Mayweather Promotions card. You got it's on Showtime starting at 10 Eastern. I don't know, if they got a stream going on because there's some good undercard action. I don't know. Showtime's gonna be streaming it. You know, you're just gonna have to check it out for yourself online. You got notable fights in the prelims. This Ava Knight. Again, I don't know much about female boxing, but she's 14-2-4, and a lot of people are, have good things to say with her, on social media. So I'm definitely gonna watch that fight. You got Ladarius Miller, 14-1 southpaw. I think he's from like Memphis. He's been on my radar for a while. I've been watching him. Real slick southpaw. He's definitely a contender, and he's gonna be around a while. So definitely watch that kid, Ladarius Miller. He'll be on that the Showtime card. I don't know if it's televised or what, but definitely watch out. So let's go to the probably the like hopefully they should put this on the Showtime. Edwin Rodriguez versus Lionel Thompson. This is a huge fight. Big fight. Edwin Rodriguez, tough. I've watched him before. He's 29-2. One of his losses for Andre Ward. There you go. Who beats Andre Ward? Edwin Rodriguez, tough fighter. I think he's Cuban. And then he's fighting Lionel Thompson. I think he's a Mayweather guy. He's on a 3-fight win streak, and then before that, I think he lost split decision. Two good fighters, two light heavyweights. Looking to get probably a bigger fight. This is a well matched fight. Lionel Thompson, 19-4. Edwin Rodriguez, 29-2. I'm definitely looking forward to that fight. I think it's really big for the light heavyweight division. So now let's go to the top three, the main card, and I gotta tell you, these 3 fights right here are the best 3 fights like on any card this year so far, in my opinion. You got Benavidez versus Gabriel. David Benavidez versus Ronald Gabriel for the WBC World Super Middleweight title. This is big. I personally had Gabriel winning in the first one. I rewatched it again the other night, and I said the same thing when I watched it live. I thought Gabriel did enough work. I thought he used his jab better. He was just more technically sound. He was blocking a lot of Benavidez' punches on the glove. And the reason I thought Benavidez might have won, though, what the judges saw, they saw like when he throws punches, they're really fast and snappy. And I just think a lot of them weren't landing. He was missing, but they might have get the oohs and ahs from the crowd. And I'm a huge critic of Vegas judging, and I really thought they fucked that one up. I thought Gabriel won, especially with that knockdown he had in the last round. I think that should have cemented the win for him, and he should have got the belt. But they're running it back because a lot of people agreed with what I'm saying there. So this is a big fight. If Benavidez has the same cardio issues, um, I think Grable might, his camp, they probably figured something out. They might have some kind of game plan for that. Or Benavidez, comes in and he gets the W. But I don't know. This is a toss up for me. I'm leaning towards Gabriel because I said he won the first fight, so I'm going to roll with him for this one. But man, Benavidez, if he wins this, he's going to be that, next Mexican superstar. I'm telling you. He's got, he's young though, and in my opinion, the first fight there are some holes in his game that were exposed. Like he fought in spots and he wasn't consistent throughout the round. So yeah, he got that out the way. Yeah, that could be the fight. That could be the fight of the night right there. Let's go to the next fight on the card. I don't know. This isn't in order necessarily, but you got Ray Robinson versus Udonis Ugis. Yeah, I always mess up this name, but this is a huge fight. Huge for the welterweight division. Ray Robinson has been around a while. He's beat pretty much everybody you put in front of him besides, let me see. Let me look. Okay, so he's had two losses, and they were in 2010 to Brad Solomon, a majority decision, and then a unanimous decision loss to Sean Porter back to back in 2009, 2010. But he's won everything since, won everything before that, and those are two big names. Like those are really good guys. So I just saw an interview with him, and he's talking about this is his world title fight. He's a 5'10" southpaw from Philly. Tough dude. Just good story. So check him out, Ray Robinson. Definitely, I think you're going to be hearing more about this guy. And then he's fighting Ugis, from Cuba. He's 20-3 himself. He just gets the job done. He's had some split decision losses. I mean, he's fought, a lot of good guys. Definitely, this is going to be a great fight. Both these guys won it. Both these guys are, winning that world title shot. They're both really looking for it. So I'm telling you, this is going to be an all-out fucking war. I'm telling you right now, because these guys are the two best welterweights that nobody's talking about. In boxing, you get that. If you don't got the media behind you, you kind of get thrown under the bus, or I don't know how to explain it, but they just don't get the credit they deserve, I guess. But definitely, hopefully after this fight, they do. This is a huge Showtime card. And then the main event, we got Brandon Rios, Danny Garcia. What else do you want? You got Mexico versus Puerto Rico, or Kansas City versus Philadelphia, however you want to put it. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a fucking war. Especially if Danny Garcia sits down with Brandon Rios and then you start punching each other in the face. Oh my God. This could be, the fight of the year. I like the break Danny Garcia took. Everybody's calling Danny Garcia a cherry picker. You're not a fucking cherry picker when you're fighting Brandon Rios, guys. You know what I mean? He's been with Robert Garcia, Ricky Funes has trained him. This guy, he's fucking good. I don't know why. Just with one fight versus Timothy Bradley where his weight was a huge issue, people just kind of shit on him. But I'm telling you, man, this is going to be a good fight. Danny Garcia is not cherry picking. Coming back from a year layoff fighting Brandon Rios is not a cherry pick. I think the year layoff was good for Danny Garcia. I think his body's rejuvenated now because, that dude never stopped fighting, world championship fights, That shit adds up. Those rounds add up. He probably was burnt out by the Keith Thurman fight, honestly. And he didn't do bad. Everybody's like, Keith Thurman didn't really dominate him. It was a 60-40 fight. Maybe Thurman won, but, Danny Garcia, he's fucking only lost once. I don't know why everybody's calling him a cherry picker. So, anyways, I think this is a huge fight for Brandon Rios and Danny Garcia. Let's see, Rios, as long as he's on weight, I think he's going to make it an interesting fight. I think if Danny Garcia uses his feet, and outboxes him, he's going to get the decision. But I believe there's going to be spots in this fight where Danny Garcia sits down and Brandon Rios sits down, and there's going to be a lot of oohs and ahs. Seriously. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's my prediction on these fights. Definitely looking forward to the Premier Boxing Championship and Mayweather Promotion cards this weekend, guys. And I'll post their information below for the streams you can watch and whatnot. And yeah, this is just a new video format, just breaking down fights. Let me know what you think, and enjoy the fights this weekend, guys.